good, YouTube family? Thank y'all for tuning back into another video. So he does do a wave cut. We are doing a wave cut on him, but since he hadn't brushed his hair, I couldn't really comb through it. So what I did was pick it out. That's so I can get it to lay as good as I can. Cause you want to be able to lay the hair down. You know what I'm saying? As even as possible. So you have to pick it out. In that situation, I had to pick it out. But usually, if it's a waver and they hadn't got a cut for like a month, you would comb through it and comb it out so it lifts the hair off the scalp. But he didn't even comb his hair or brush his hair, so it's like I had to pick it out. But this is my $100 service, and this includes a haircut, shampoo, conditioner, eyebrows, enhancements, fibers, no drip, finished with a razor and barber magic pencil. And it also comes with just to lay your waves down. It comes with a foaming, or depending on what the client, any product that you put in your hair, it comes with that also. And this is called a deluxe haircut if y'all want to book this. But I'm just going in. I got my Andis masters. I'm going in. I'm cutting everything down. I know that I've cut my client before. He doesn't have any cowlicks, so I'm cutting his hair down with the number 1 guard open. And I'm just going over it, being very careful in that back crown area. And I'm just making sure that I cut in the pattern that the client hair grows. And I'm just making sure that I get it all even, all laying down how I'm supposed to. So before I do the shampoo, I like to ball them out. You know what I'm saying? I like to set my ball lines in first. So I just do it across the back of his neck. There's not really no explanation. It just depends on what the client's head shape's like. And we're doing a low taper, so I'm just gonna set it at the top of his ear. So when you're washing people's hair, just make sure that you're giving them a nice little massage. Make sure that you're getting all the product out of their hair, because you want the hair to be, you know what I'm saying, as dry, not necessarily dry, because you don't want to dry no one's scalp out. Make sure that after you, right now I'm shampooing, make sure that you just get in there and use the tips of your fingers to get all the dirt out, and then make sure that you go in there with some conditioner so that you don't dry the client's hair out. But you also don't want any product in there. Like you don't want to be cutting, because you're not gonna be able to get the truest, best form of your haircut unless the head is clean. So that's what I do like about this service, and that's what booking this service, that's what this offers. It offers you the best haircut possible, because everything is clean as it can be, and cleanliness is next to godliness. So if y'all want the best cut, book this, you know what I'm saying, deluxe haircut. And there I just throw in some conditioner, and then I dry the client off with a towel, and then I put him under a towel. I put him under the hair dryer. Alright y'all, so to kick this cut off, I got my Andis masters, and I'm just going up about 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm gonna go open to establish the guideline, go halfway down the guideline, and then I'm gonna close the clipper all the way and tap that bottom line out completely. Then while I'm here, to be as efficient and effective with my time as possible, I'm gonna go ahead and fade the beard in too. Now I got a number 1 guard on, and I'm just doing the same thing, going up about 3/4 of an inch, making sure that I keep everything consistent. Well, right now I'm gonna go in first just to blend it in a little more. I'm gonna go in with the 1.5 guard on my Babyliss Soft FXs, and I got the blade open, and I'm just working up into it just to give myself room to come in with this number 1 guard, so that I can get this fade pure and smooth as possible, and give myself that room for transition to come in with that 1. So now I'm just taking the number 1 against the grain of his beard, and I'm gonna come up into it, and this should be the last guard that I have to use for his beard. And now just doing this, what I said before, I'm establishing the guideline with the 1 open, and then I'm gonna leave off right up under where we left off at that 1.5, and I'm gonna slowly close my clipper down on that fade to soften that bottom line up as much as possible. And after I do, I put on a 1/2 guard, and this is the Babyliss 1/2 guard, and I'm gonna soften that line up even more, before then I can come in and really take that line out. And now I'm gonna take that line out completely with just by lever playing and doing detail work with my Andis masters, because this blade is fatter, so it allows you to just be able to be more, I don't even know how to explain that. be more precise and not cut too much, not dig into the cut. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing detail work, just making sure that, you know, everything's very smooth. So right here I come in with my blade open on my Andis Masters, and I'm setting this guideline in the back like a full inch, and I'm able to go up a little bit higher in the back. I'm able to establish my guidelines a full inch in the back because it's a bigger area to work with. So you got a lot more room to work, so you're able to do that. And y'all can see that the clipper, the little light was red, so I'm gonna be switching clippers because this one was dying. I need to put on a charger. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this line out, I guess, with the Masters. Y'all know I set the guideline in with the blade open. To establish guideline, I got the blade open, then I go to the top of the guideline. With the blade open, I go to the top of the guideline, then I close the blade halfway, move halfway down the guideline, then I close the clipper all the way and take that bottom line out completely. And in the back, I like to work one side and then match it to the other side. So I do, because it's just a lot of room to if you do all the way across. So I like to do one side and then the other and meet them. You try to just make sure that you use the same guideline on both sides and make sure that everything's even. Now I got the number 1 guard on and I'm just going up. I know that we cut the top down with the one open, so I don't want to push too high into that. And I do want to, the goal of this in the back of his head is to keep this fade up under that bump on the back of his head. So that bone that sticks out, you want to keep it up under there. And that's what I'm doing. And like I said, I probably came in and cleared it out like I did on the front side with the 1.5. And now I gave myself room to fade into with this one, and I'm just doing the same thing. I got the blade open, I'm going right up under where I left off at the 1.5, and then I'm gonna slowly close my clipper and move down on this fade and really get this bottom line softened up so I can come in and take it out completely with the half guard. And I'm just doing the same thing. I do one side and then the other, making sure, like I said, make sure that you keep the same guidelines and do the same process on each side. Everything has to be, you know, everything has to match up and be even. Going over it multiple times, making sure that everything's how it's supposed to be, everything's even, and everything is lining up for me to come in and really get this tape as smooth as possible. So now, just to soften this bottom line up a little bit more, I'm coming in with the half guard, the Babyliss half guard. This guard is a little bit thicker than the wall half guard, and I'm just going open halfway and close, but really more than that, I'm just seeing the dark spots in this bottom line and hitting them so that I can come in and really finish this fade off. I like my fades to be real smooth, so I'm also trying not to dig into that back part of his head. And the back is usually a lot more dense, so it's a lot more thick back there. So you just gotta work these lines out. Now I'm coming in with the 0 guard, the wall 0 guard. This is what's gonna top this fade off. This is what's gonna pull everything together finally to find a little piece of the step of my system. So now I'm just going open halfway and close, but with the 0 guard, I look at it as a eraser guard. I never put a guideline in with it. I only use it to take lines out. So I'm just going open halfway and close, but more than that, I'm lever playing. So open and closing my lever when needed. And then I'm using the edge of my blade, the corner of my blade, the last couple teeth of my blade to pick out dark spots and bring them into the light and bring this fade together and make it smooth as possible. And y'all can see this transition taking place right now before your eyes. And it's a beautiful thing. It's one of my favorite things. Just fading is one of my favorite things, but lining up is one of my favorite things. It's all, man. But then using a razor, it's all my favorite, man. I love what I do. I love barbering. So this time I sped up tremendously, and this is where I'm gonna get my story. This is for my believers. So if y'all ain't a believer, you know what I'm saying, you can skip over this part. But this is for my believers. Y'all. In James 1:12 it says, "Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to those who love him." And it also tells us in the Bible that to count it all joy when you're tempted, knowing that the trying of your faith produces patience, but we must do our part and let patience have her perfect work in us. The blueprint that God gives us to resist, endure, and overcome temptation is this: count it all joy when you're tempted, to see the way that God provides out, to take that way out, and to resist, endure, and overcome temptation by praising Him and by just staying faithful and loyal and obedient to Him and not falling for the flesh. Starve your flesh and to feed your spirit. I know a lot of people have trouble with this, so I'm gonna explain this as good as detail as I can. For my slant, y'all, I start at the bottom, I tap my slant in, and then once I get to the top around his ear, I convert to the last couple teeth or the edge of my blade, and I just do the little roundabout about his ear. I brush the hair down again, making sure that I pull all the overhanging hairs forward, and then I cut all the overhanging hairs so that there aren't any. So that's how you solidify a lineup, and that's when I say all my lineups are solidified, that's what I mean. So y'all, I'm tapping the back of his beard in, rinse and repeat, doing the same thing on this side. But I'm gonna get back into what I was saying, back into the message. Just know this too. Every time you resist and learn and overcome temptation, you're growing in faith. So what better reward to resist and learn and overcome temptation, something that you're supposed to do anyway, allows you to grow in faith and patience, which are both fruits of the Spirit. So you're growing in two fruits of the Spirit just off of you listening, obeying, and doing what you're supposed to do anyway. Like, how good is God, you know what I'm saying, to be able to give us that. And then every time that you do that, you just grow stronger. Your faith grows stronger, you grow stronger, your spirit grows stronger, you know what I'm saying, and you just continue to conquer your flesh and put your flesh to death and live in the Spirit. Y'all, give up the desires of the flesh for the desires of the Spirit, and just hold out and don't feed into your flesh, and just hold off for what don't give in to what your flesh wants right now, for the right now, because that feeling is gonna fade away that quick. As soon as it's done, as soon as whatever is done, as soon as it could be from females to males, if you're a girl watching this, to the stuff that you eat, you know what I'm saying, trying to overcome, or just addiction, whatever, it could be anything, you know what I'm saying. So give up the desires of what your flesh wants right now for what your spirit wants right now. What your spirit wants long term, and it's always gonna work out best for you. Right now, y'all, I just put some curl enhancement in there. I brushed it in, made sure that I brushed in the pattern that the waving brushes his hair, and I laid everything down. And make sure that when you put the do-rag on, you put it on tight. See how I pulled it down, got it tight, and then I'm gonna just tap his mustache in and really just let y'all watch this, man. I hope that worked out to somebody, man. Resist, endure, and overcome temptation. Continue to grow closer to God, and just be a better father of His, so you can be a better leader to others. And man, just win that battle. The battle's already won. Jesus has already given us the victory, so claim that victory over your life, and be disciplined and consistent and faithful and obedient to God and His word. And just continue to grow. Like I said, continue to grow and continue to be more Christ-like. Hitting on the message one more time: continue to resist, endure, and overcome temptation. Stand firm in your faith in God. Continue to do all that you can do to be more Christ-like each and every day, and be blessed, man. I appreciate y'all. I hope that this message I hope this spoke to your spirit, and I'm gonna just let y'all watch through this beard. He wanted to keep it full under his neck, so I'm just continue to let y'all watch. I'm gonna meet up with y'all in the lineup. So if you've been to my channel before, you know how I do my lineups. If not, I'm gonna explain it. I plant in the middle, keeping it natural as possible. Understand that he hadn't got a cut for probably a month and a half, so I'm not pushing him back. That's all overhanging hair. I know where his lineup truly is, so I work my way. I planted in the middle. I work my way to the side. Once the front meets the side, I tap the vertical bar in. And notice how I brush all them hairs, so there's no overhanging hairs. And every time that I do a lineup, I put my first line in, and then I comb down one more time just to make sure that all the overhanging hairs are pulled down, and then I cut them overhanging hairs into the lineup that we've already established, making sure that there are no overhanging hairs, so that the lineup is solidified. And I'll just rinse, repeat, and do the same thing on the other side, making sure that I get everything nice and clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness, making sure that I keep this lineup as as natural as possible and get it as crispy as possible. That's my thing, getting it natural as possible but crispy as possible, and making sure that I was always a barber, man. I wanted to make sure that I could do lineups very well without using enhancements before I ever used enhancements. Y'all gonna see me, the reason I do this, that other vertical bar before I did this one, is because that one was naturally higher. So I wanted to make sure that I did that one so that I can match this one up to it. So y'all see how I do my vertical bars though. I tap it in at the bottom of the vertical bar as low as I can get it, keeping it natural as possible. And then I go from the bottom and meet it in the middle, meeting it to the top. And then I got my Beam Team Cordless XL, the compressor, and then I got the Sony hair color enhancement card, 245 no drip, and I'm just adding, you know, some enhancements, making sure that I just spray it on there. Don't put it on. I'm still learning how to use this thing really, but just learning not to put it on too hard. You don't want to put it on too hard, make it look too unnatural. You just want to enhance the cut. A little bit goes a long way. I'm definitely learning that. 4 quick rules for using a barber magic pencil. 1, don't put it in the hair. 2, put it right in front of the hair. 3, don't put it on too thick. And 4, make sure you come back and line it up after you put it on. The point of the barber magic pencil is not to just have a white or a lighter line in front of the hair. It's to create contrast from the client's skin to the hair. So it's not, you know what I'm saying, to look crazy and have a real harsh line. It's to just blend in and create that contrast and give it that, you know what I'm saying, that pop. It's just like a concealer, like females conceal their eyebrows. We're taking something from their industry and putting it in ours and making our industry more valuable. So I promise y'all, if y'all just add this to a service and put it in there, and I promise you it's gonna make your clients feel, it's gonna make them feel great about it. So for the beard and just for any razor work, for the beard I never use trimmers before. On the beard I always just come in and go straight in with my razor, because I just feel like it gives me the best line that I could get. And using a razor, make sure that you hold your razor at a 45-degree angle and make sure that you stretch the skin so you don't cut the client. And just make sure that I'm just pulling that magic pencil and making it do what it does. And y'all can see how he got waves already. Like, y'all seen how he coming in? Now look, man, if y'all was able to sit through this 17-18 minute video with me, definitely 18 minutes, I appreciate you. I think this cut turned out super clean. Let me know what y'all think. Don't forget about how it looked in the beginning. I need to start putting that right after on the videos. Like, I need to put the before, like I do on my Instagram videos, before the after. But anyway, if y'all came to learn something, I hope that you learned something. Take something from my game, apply it to yours, advance in your career and your craft and in life. And if you came just to be satisfied, I hope you were satisfied. I thank you for tuning into my channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me to continue to grow. Use the gifts and abilities God's given me to glorify Him and to help y'all and to teach y'all. I appreciate y'all. See you back on the next one, and may God bless.